All right, welcome to LA Football Network live on the road with the one Chris Simms from Pro Football Talk.
Whoa.
The man, the myth, the legend himself. How are you, man?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Yeah, Pro Football Talk. My podcast, Chris Simms Unbuttoned. If you really want to hear football and some swear words, that's where you go for knowledge right there.
Wonderful combination. I've listened to many
I mean,
times.
don't they go
knowledge
hand in hand?
and swear words?
Right? Man. Football,
Well, I
not
mean,
swear
football,
words.
right? I mean, I don't know. I never had a coach ever, or I grew up around my dad who was coached by Bill Parcells. I mean, my dad swore at the dinner table on a Wednesday night, so that's just the world I grew up in.
And this is LA Football Network Unfiltered here with Chris Simms. Jamal Madney, Will Decker, Dan Wolkenstein here. All right, so here live on Radio Row, how has it been? What are the vibes? What's the kind of key stories you've had so far?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't have any crazy. Like, the coolest thing for me, I'm a kid in the candy store because, like, I'm the guy that can name the score of every Super Bowl, the MVP of every Super Bowl. So I love to see the old players. And then I'm a fanboy with, like, the young guys, too. So I really enjoy that. I know, like, The Rock was here and people like that, right? But, like, I'm not necessarily like, oh, The Rock. Like, I'm more like, oh, there's Josh Allen.
Joe Montana.
Oh, there's Joe Montana, right. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's The Rock. Cool. All right. So that's a little where I am.
All right, well, let's start talking football. So we got we cover the Rams, the Chargers, the Bruins, the Trojans.
Gotcha.
We'll start with now the Storm in LA. Jim Harbaugh, now the head coach for the Chargers. What are your thoughts on the impact that brings to the team and how he will actually implement his scheme, his philosophy with the talent they have?
Well, I don't think that's going to be hard. Like, Harbaugh, to me, great coach, right? And the best thing, I think he's a perfect hire for the Chargers, a team that, let's just be real, has a perception of a little dysfunction at times, maybe, right, in the national media, whether it's injuries, blown football games, right, maybe spending more money on some free agent guy that we shouldn't have. That stuff's not going to happen with Jim Harbaugh. That, to me, again, was where the experience of a guy like Harbaugh, or, being in the family business like he is, like you see Shanahan coaching the 49ers, there is some value to that. They've been around it their whole life. He understands, diet. Training room, we're doing this. After practice, you guys didn't run sprints or whatever else. He's going to get all that on the same page, let alone maybe some of the nonsense that goes in the organization where it's like, hey, the GM and the front office want this player, but the coaches want this player. No, they made Harbaugh the king. They got a GM that came in that goes, oh, wait, Harbaugh's the king. I'm the prince. This works well. And then we can start to formulate something from there. And then his football is basic. That's what he's great at. It's a little bit, hey, we're going to tackle. We're going to be physical. We're going to know what to do on every play. We're not going to just 9 million plays and mess them up all the time. Yeah. And he'll get everybody on like a single focused path.
You're describing the Chargers for the last 3 years.
Well, that's where I think he's going to be great. That's where I think he'll be great.
So your quarterback rankings every year must-watch TV for us.
Thank you.
You were ahead of the curve on Lamar Jackson. You were ahead of the curve on Patrick Mahomes.
Thank you.
Caleb Williams, USC quarterback.
Right.
There's a lot to like there. There's some still uncertainties. I think maybe a little bit more maturity issues with him. What do you see from him in the early returns of the film work and what you've seen from him on the field? So I'm not in film yet, right? Yeah. But it's coming. I mean, literally, the Super Bowl is going to be over, and NBC's going to be like, can you tell us who the #1 rated quarterback is? And I'm like, can I just go to the after party with the 49ers first? Like, just hold on a second. So I know that's all coming. I'm right now, it's all off of TV scouting, right? Yeah. I'm just, as a college fan, watching on Saturday what I see. To me, Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels look like they stand out in their own little class, okay? Then there's Michael Penix, who I really like, and Bo Nix, we know that'll be in the conversation as well. Caleb, though, hey, listen, to start off on the negatives, right? I didn't love I wish he would have talked to the media a little bit more, been available and those type of things. Those are the things that get you ready to be a quarterback in the NFL. You can't go hide and have your coach talk for you. Yeah. So I don't love that. But I don't know if that's all his doing either. I think maybe they were overprotective of him as well. Hey, the looseness of some of the plays we saw towards the end of the year, right? Some of the, hey, this guy's open. What the hell are you doing? Why are you dancing around and then trying to throw that ball there, right? But those things to me are coachable, right? His talent and what I see on TV is remarkable. I mean, it's remarkable. I'm not going to say it's Mahomes or Josh Allen, right? Because those are two guys, when I saw them, I was like, whoa. But it doesn't look
too far off. Now, that's where I'm excited to dive into the film a little bit, right? He's so talented. He's got every arm angle. He's stronger and more physical than people realize. I know that. You know, he moves like a running back in a lot of ways with his side-to-side direction stuff. So I'm a sucker for talent, and he looks like he's got a lot of a superstar caliber traits. That would be my first thing off there, and certainly expect him to be one of the top picks in the draft.
Chris, you know, you being obviously the quarterback guru and sort of looking holistically at even the college football.
Yeah.
If you could go back 20, 25 years, where would you want to play, and who would you want to play for to best get ready for the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, listen, my time in Texas was great, right? I had to deal with some crap of like the major Applewhite, and I was a Yankee in Texas, so I had people that were bothered by that, right? I literally would walk down the street every day of my time in Texas, and guaranteed someone was going to call me F you, go back to the north, you Yankee, right? So I had some of those issues there, right? But either way, it was prepared me for the NFL, right? Because you're going to hear a lot of negative stuff. You know, if I look at it more, I wish maybe I had picked a spot that, I didn't have to deal with a quarterback challenge that way, and maybe could have just got a little more. I played a lot, but like, to me, one of the keys to success in the NFL, like a Mahomes or some of the top quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, they have a ton of reps, right? Got to throw it a lot, do all of that type of stuff. So I sometimes wish, like, not that there's any specific team that pops in my head, that maybe I just went to a place where I was a little bit more like, wait, this guy knows how to coach quarterbacks. I'm going to play a lot. And my ultimate goal was always NFL, right? I grew up in an NFL world with my dad, to where I wish I would have used it a little more as a stepping stone to the proper thing to do to the NFL, instead of just going, I want to go to the coolest college with the biggest stadium and all the hot girls and all the cool stuff, right? And do that. And that's kind of the, part of the decision of what I made at Texas too.
Now, Chargers and Rams,
right?
Offseason, I would say the Rams probably overachieved of a lot of people's expectations. Chargers underachieved. Draft, offseason, free agency, all that kind of stuff. Let's focus on the Rams and the Chargers. How would you go about improving the Rams? What are the biggest things that you need, either through free agency or the draft?
Right.
And then flip to the Chargers.
Well, like the Rams, first off, like, congratulations, right? Seriously. That year was incredible.
That draft.
Sean McVay is incredible. Their mid-round draft picks continue to be incredible. That's what people lost when they were spending all that money for the big-time trades or free agents. There still was a number of third- and fourth-round picks on the team where you're like, he is starting and he's a fifth-rounder. Like, he's really good. Like, they killed the draft. McVay's an incredible coach. They flipped around the team already. To me, it's like a lot of the meat and potatoes are there for the Rams. It's just a sizzle now. I mean, maybe another big-time pass rusher, right? Maybe they need probably another blue-chip player in the secondary. I think that's probably worth looking at. Receivers, not a necessity, but, they're growing on trees right now to where you probably get another one, to go with Puka and Cooper and Atwell. So, I think I just kind of I think it's all defense. That's kind of where I look at it. Aaron Donald, we're coming to the end, right? Yeah. So they got to start thinking about front seven difference makers and a guy or two in the back end. Then you can go, hey, it's a big down. We got to play man-to-man, and we got to trust that you can be on an island. And I don't think they had that this year. That would be where I'd be looking.
And then if you flip it to the Chargers, they have a lot of holes.
Yeah.
But in terms of like high impact, what will impact their success the most this year? What are the positions that they should be charting?
They need a big-time Jim Harbaugh running back. That's the first thing I'm going to say. And this is Austin Eckler's a man. I certainly have like the most respect for him and his game. But again, we know it's running backs. He's a smaller guy anyways. I think in the perfect world, you'd like him to be kind of your complementary back.
Number two.
Right? So Jim Harbaugh, it's Michigan football. It's 49ers Frank Gore, right? They're not famous for throwing the ball 45 times a game. They were famous for beating your butt, right? They need that kind of guy. I think that makes sense. And then we know, run the ball, play tough. You got a quarterback to me who's the best in the pocket passing quarterback in football. I mean, he's RoboCop in there. And just throws lasers down the field with people all over him. I think he's perfect for the Jim Harbaugh offense. So running back is one I look at. I probably I don't know. Do you guys think Bosa's going to be there after? I don't think Bosa's going to be there, right?
No, I don't.
So I don't expect that to be there. So that's where I look in the draft or free agency, probably a pass rusher again to go along with whatever they want to do with Khalil Mack. And then I kind of look, I think the corner thing, I think we're probably there in that conversation as well. I don't think it's actually now that I'm saying it out loud, too far different than the Rams, honestly, right?
Well,
different approach, but along the same lines.
Chris, you've been so gracious with your time. We've had an awesome experience. I got to get one more question in for you. Prediction on the big game, and segue as well. How impressed have you been with Brock Purdy, given all the obstacles he's faced as a young quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, Purdy's been phenomenal, right? I think the criticism's a little crazy. It's amazing what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
It's not Josh Allen or Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. It's never going to be. Get over it, right? Joe Montana wasn't John Elway, right? He wasn't Brett Favre. He wasn't that. He still is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Right? There's gifts that Brock Purdy has as far as reading defenses, taking all of Shanahan's information, his feel, his instincts, his anticipation, and his rhythm that other good quarterbacks in football, that I'd go, they're not as good as Brock Purdy in that department. So that's where I think people got to back off a little bit here. All for Brock Purdy. The game itself, here's my thing. I think if both teams are playing A-plus football, the 49ers win the game. The 49ers in their best are better than the Chiefs at their best. My problem is we haven't seen that 49er team in 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's what scares me. And that's where I'm going to take the Chiefs to win by a field goal. I am rooting for the 49ers. It's my boy.
Yeah.
But I would be lying to my fans and what I'm doing as an analyst. And if I was just going to sit here and just go, it's my boy, so I'm going with the Niners. Right? I'm rooting like hell for the Niners. They haven't played their best ball in 6 or 7 weeks. And the Chiefs have pulled off the miraculous and continue to get better after playing a full season of B- football. Just went, we're going to play A+ Super Bowl football. And I've never seen a team do that, but they're doing it in front of my eyes. So I'm going to take the Chiefs 23-20.
You heard it here first, man. Chris Simms, the best in the biz. Thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks
so much, that's Chris Simms with LA Football Network. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
See you soon. Peace out.